The monastery slept, but Brother Eric did not. By a single tall candle, his quill traced forbidden orc runes on stolen parchment. 6 years he had done this, hiding in the sub-cellar where his late master had secreted the texts before the purge fires could reach them.
If they find these books, I am already dead.
A knock, sharp, deliberate, shattered the silence. 3 strikes, then nothing. Eric's hand jerked. A dark blot bled onto the fresh runes, ruining an hour's work.
No brother comes to the scriptorium after Compline. No one.
The door swung inward. Cold blue moonlight sliced across the floor, stopping at his overturned inkwell. A tall silhouette filled the threshold, cloaked and hooded, too broad for any human monk.
Too broad. Too still. Not human.
Eric could not move. The open tome of Skarnak clan lineages still glowed under the candle, its exposed runes a death warrant. His mind fled backward to the moment that had set this terror in motion.
They will burn them all, Eric. The orc histories, the clan lineages, every word. I cannot stop the purge, but you can keep them.
The key opened a hidden door. Behind generations of dust, Eric found a hoard of orc tomes, stacked like the condemned awaiting execution.
If they are found, I will be excommunicated.
Don't let the fire win, boy. Promise me.
The master died 2 days later. When the purge fires lit the monastery yard, the books were already safe in the dark underground.
I will finish what you started. Every page. Every word.
For 6 years he had kept that promise, night after night, hiding an entire culture from the flames one stroke at a time. Now, a stranger stood in the doorway, and Eric's fingers tightened on the quill. Whatever came through that door, he would keep his oath.
Hide it. Hide it before she sees the runes.
He shoved the open tome under a stack of blank parchment. The runes still burned in his mind.
If they find out, I will be on the pyre before morning.
The door groaned open another handspan. Cold blue moonlight slithered across the stones, reaching his ink-stained hands. A heavy boot scraped over the threshold. The figure stepped inside.
No way past her. The window is barred. I am trapped.
She paused there, just inside, as if reading the air. The candle flame leaned sideways.
Why doesn't she speak? She is waiting for something.
Eric's hand drifted toward the candle. One flick of the wrist, and they would be blind together. The flame bent. The hood turned, and the dark inside that hood found his eyes. She stepped forward, into the candle's reach. The hood fell away, revealing weathered olive-green skin, white-streaked, dark hair, coiled in ceremonial loops, 2 yellowed tusks gleaming.
Not a man, not a monk, an orc, here, in the monastery, in the dead of night, standing in my scriptorium, as if she belongs.
You have books, many books.
Her voice rasped like stones grinding, yet it held a weary calm.
She knows. She must know what I have been copying.
I can smell the ink and old leather, a scriptorium after my own heart. It is a rare comfort.
Who are you?
I am Brenwa Skarnak.
Skarnak, the very clan whose histories I have been hiding under my robe for 6 years.
Her eyes, ancient and intelligent, swept the scriptorium, missing nothing. The candle, the scattered parchment, the hidden tomes. Eric could not move under that gaze.
I am the last memory keeper of the Skarnak. I came to die near where my clan's books were burned.
They were never burned. They are 3 feet from where you stand, hidden under a false floor, waiting for a scribe to finish copying.
The purge came 20 winters ago. Every book of Skarnak lineage, every epic, every song, thrown into the fire.
Master Gerard saved them. He hid them. I have been transcribing them for 6 years under the noses of the entire monastery.
I only wished to see the place where the words died. Then I could let go.
If I tell her, she might think I am a thief, or that the monastery will destroy them now. If I stay silent, she will leave and die believing her clan's memory is ash.
You have been kind to let me stand here, brother. I will go now.
Number. I cannot let her walk out believing that. My oath was to preserve the words, not hide behind them. Wait, the books, they are not all ash.
She staggered back. Do not toy with an old orc's grief. The books are gone.
I am not lying. Come, I will show you.
Eric lit a hand lantern from the candle, then slid the panel that hid the sub-cellar stair. The stone steps yawned black below. They descended. The cold of the earth pressed against them. Only the lantern's halo held the darkness at bay.
Where are you taking me? This is no monastery storeroom.
Master Gerard called it the Archive of the Forgotten. The truth is here.
At the bottom, Eric unlocked a heavy iron door. It swung inward with a groan that echoed through the buried chamber. He raised the lantern. Shelves upon shelves of orc tomes, their leather spines glinting with ancient runes, filled the hidden vault.
Impossible. These are Skarnak bindings. I know them by touch.
Eric set the lantern on a barrel and waited. Everything he had risked now balanced on this single moment. Brenois pulled a tome from the shelf with infinite care, as if it might dissolve into ash at her touch. The runes shimmered.
The Lament of the Six Heroes. I thought this destroyed with the rest.
Then the tears came, silent at first, then racking sobs that filled the vault.
There are more. I have been copying them. 6 years. Every word I could find.
She sank to her knees, clutching the book, as if it were the body of a loved child.
I did not know orcs could weep like this. I did not know their grief weighed so much.
You saved them. A human. You saved what my own people could not.
The words are not mine. They belong to your clan. I just could not let them die.
Eric led her to a lower shelf where his copied volumes stood, disguised as devotional texts. In that cold vault, an old orc and a young monk sat among resurrected words, bound by a grief that had no language.
Brenois pressed a hand to her chest. I am the last Skarnak memory keeper. The last voice of the old tongue.
Without her, the unwritten dialects would be lost forever. No living soul could speak them or read the ancient runes.
In my mind, I carry the clan's founding epic, the war songs, the healing chants, 3,000 years of voice.
3,000 years, and all of it resting inside one frail old orc who had come to die. Then if you die, the knowledge dies with you. Eric's voice cracked.
It is why I made pilgrimage, to end where the memory ended.
The books he had saved were a body without breath if no one remained to give them voice.
She cannot leave now. I cannot let her go. But what right do I have to ask her to stay?
You are troubled, little scribe. What do you see in these old runes that I have missed?
Ilder. I see a future where the Skarnak are not a whispered name. But I need your voice to finish the work.
You would take on the dialects. They are not in your books.
Then teach me. I will write them down until my hand falls off.
A grim smile. I will teach you, little scribe, but I am old. The days are few.
The old orc rose slowly, as if the weight of her history pressed on her bones, but her eyes were steady.
She pointed at a rune. This is the Skarnak symbol for unbroken, the first word a memory keeper learns.
The curl of the rune felt like a question, waiting for an answer.
He dipped his quill and traced the shape under her guidance. Her hand covered his, correcting the stroke with a touch roughened by years.
Good. You have the patience of a stone. That will serve you.
In the cold underground, the first lesson became the pact. They would finish this together, no matter the time. Brenois scanned the shelves. Her hand paused at a gap between two heavy tomes, where a crucial volume should have rested.
The Skarnak founding epic. The song of the first tusks was never bound, only spoken. I am the last who can recite it.
No written text, only her voice. 17 cantos, and no quill has ever touched them.
She described the epic's sweep, a poem of 17 cantos, recounting the clan's wanderings from the frozen south, sung for 3,000 years.
Then we write it from memory. All of it. I will not let the song die with you.
It will take months. My memory is only flesh, and it tires. but I will give what I have.
Eric laid a fresh quire of parchment on the desk. The first line waited, still and empty.
17 cantos. This will be the largest transcription of my life, and the first time these words become ink.
Brenois placed a hand on his shoulder. We begin with the first canto. In the age of white winds, the Skarnak walked alone under the starless sky. The quill touched parchment, and Eric felt the weight of 3,000 years pressing through the nib. For days they worked by candle and lantern. Brenois' voice murmured the epic, and Eric's quill raced to keep pace.
And the tusks pierced the frozen sky, making the first gate of the south. That verb, pierced, in Skarnak carries the meaning of a wound healed.
Why would a wound healed be used for violence? Eric asked, rubbing his cramping hand.
Her eyes grew distant. Because the first tusks were offered in peace, not in war. That meaning was buried.
She fell silent. Then she spoke a stanza that no living orc had heard in 100 generations.
Before the clans, Skarnak made a pact with the soft skins of the valley, blood-bound. The first memory keeper erased it after the betrayal.
Eric's quill stopped. The foundation of the clan, the very reason for the war, was a forgotten alliance with humans.
If this is true, then the entire history of enmity is built on a lie.
It is true, little scribe. And if we write it, we rekindle a flame that was meant to die forever.
The epic was not just a record. It was a weapon. Writing it could either heal a wound 3,000 years old or tear it open forever. After another week of candlelit dictation, Brenois laid her hand flat on the half-filled pages and stopped Eric's quill.
Recite the third canto's opening, little scribe. From your own memory, not the page.
Eric's throat tightened. The Skarnak dialect curled in his mind, still foreign on his tongue.
He took a breath. In the Valley of Broken Stones, the first pact was spoken, under the twin moons that watched without eyes.
He remembered the nuance. The Skarnak word for watched meant to guard, not to observe.
Her eyes widened, then softened. You did not just copy the words. You listened.
She reached out and touched his ink-stained hand.
You will be the first human memory keeper. I have not smiled in years, yet you have given me reason.
My student. 2 words, and yet they settled on his shoulders like a mantle heavier than any monk's robe.
He was no longer just a scribe hiding in shadows. He was the vessel for a dying tongue, and the weight of it felt like a gift. A knock, 3 sharp raps shattered the quiet. Eric shoved Brenois behind the tall bookcase, swept the orc pages under a blank prayer book, through the crack in the door. Eric saw the cellarer's suspicious eye. The handle rattled again. The cellarer pushed inside, demanding why the candle burned past matins. His gaze swept the room.
I could not sleep, brother. Copying psalms calms the mind.
The cellarer's hand brushed the stack of prayer books. Eric's heart stopped. But the man only grunted and turned away. He warned Eric to extinguish the candle within the hour, then left with a final suspicious glance.
He waited until the footsteps faded, then slumped against the desk, exhaling a prayer he hadn't spoken.
Eric pulled Brenois from behind the bookcase. Dust clung to her hood.
They will come again, little scribe, sooner or later.
Eric knew she was right. The cellarer's suspicion had sprouted eyes, and those eyes would watch every hour now. 2 nights later, Brenois' hand trembled as she traced a rune. She tried to hide it, but Eric saw the spasm. A cough tore through her, wet and deep. Dark blood splattered onto the half-written epic.
Elder, you need to rest. The work can wait.
No, little scribe, the work cannot wait. I will not let my last breath be wasted.
She pushed his hand aside and dipped her own quill, her grip unsteady. The 10th canto. I must finish it before the fever takes my voice.
She is burning up, but if I force her to stop, she will never finish, and the guilt will kill her faster.
So he damped cloths for her brow and steadied the parchment as she wrote, her breathing shallow.
The runes are blurring. Read them back to me. I need to know they are true.
They are perfect, Elder. Every stroke of your quill is a fire that will never go out.
She smiled, the tiniest curve of her tusked mouth, and continued dictating, each word a battle against the darkness gathering in her lungs. The cellarer slipped into the scriptorium, while Eric fetched water. The lamp still burned low. He rifled through the prayer books, searching for hidden pages. A stray corner of vellum showed a forbidden rune. Eric returned with the water. He froze at the door. The cellarer spun, a page of orc script in hand.
What is this, Brother Eric? These are not psalms. It is a copy of old orc law for study of their errors. The abbot knows.
The cellarer's eyes narrowed. He did not believe Eric.
I will ask the abbot myself. Until then, this scriptorium is locked.
Eric felt the trap closing. He could not let the cellarer take the pages and alert the monastery.
Brother, I swear, if you raise this now, you bring ruin on us all. Orc scouts are near.
The cellarer hesitated, the word orc cooling his zeal. He dropped the page and left his eyes promising a reckoning. The cellarer's footsteps had barely faded when Brenoi's voice broke mid-verse, her body folding forward onto the desk.
Elder.
He caught her before she hit the floor, her weight surprisingly light, as if the years were already draining away. He carried her to the cot in the corner, laying her down as gently as he would a fragile codex.
Her eyes flickered open. The fever. I could hear the ancestors calling, but I am not ready to go.
You need rest. I will write later, but for now, please, just breathe.
There is no later for me. I feel the cold creeping up my spine. Promise me, finish the song. Do not let it fade.
I am a scribe, not a healer, but I can give her this one thing. I promise, the song will not die. Now rest, Elder. I will write later, and you will hear it.
She closed her eyes, and Eric sat vigil, listening to the shallow rattle of her breath, the unfinished pages hovering like a held exhale.
Elder, I will write only the critical passages, the ones with meanings no scribe could guess. The rest I can piece together from the dialects you taught me.
So you will be the weaver, and I the spinner. Good, I will give you the thread.
He knelt beside her, quill and parchment ready, as Brenois summoned the fragments with a voice that was barely a whisper.
The 14 canto, the binding of the Stone Sisters. Right, with hair of root and eyes of flint, they anchored the northern gate.
Her voice cracked, but Eric's quill caught every broken sound. The candle guttered. He lit another.
Now the finale. The last pact. Write it as I speak it, for I will not have strength to repeat.
Eric wrote as though the ink were her lifeblood, capturing the cadence of a language that would never be spoken again. When dawn touched the window, she stopped. The final lines were captured, though gaps gaped in the cantos like wounds waiting to be stitched.
You have the bones now, little scribe. The rest is your own voice.
Her words faded to a breathless silence. Eric looked from her closed eyes to the half-empty pages, knowing the true work of weaving would have to be his alone. At dawn, Brenois asked to be moved to her chair before the window. She wanted to feel the light one final time.
I am ready now, little scribe. The song is safe.
I will finish it. I swear on the vows I broke to save it.
She smiled, a thing of tusk and crinkled eyes, and her hand found the bound pages resting in her lap. Her breathing slowed, then stopped. The chair held her like a throne. Eric knelt and pressed his forehead to her still warm hand. A sound left him that was not a word.
She came here to die believing her history was ash. Instead, she left a fire that will never go out.
He built no pyre within the abbey walls. Instead, he laid her in the scriptorium for 2 days, candles burning around her, as if she were a venerated text. Afterwards, he gathered the loose quires and began the final binding, each stitch a promise to close the gaps she had left. The first stitch pierced the leather like a vow. He would not rest until every page bore both their names. Months blurred under the needle. Eric stitched until his fingers bled, weaving the gaps Brenois had left into a seamless cloth of ink. One night, the cellarer returned, a lantern in hand. His shadow fell long across the scriptorium floor. He stopped, eyes fixed on the 37 bound volumes, each spine tooled with 2 names, one human, one orc. "This is the Skarnak archive," the cellarer breathed. "You saved it. All of it." Eric handed him the first copy, the weathered codex that had started it all, its pages softened by 6 years of secret labor.
The old orc who taught me is dead. These books are her last living voice.
The cellarer touched the name Brenois Skarnak on the spine. "I was a boy during the war. I still smell the smoke of burning libraries." His voice broke. He set the book down with care. "I will not be the one to bring flames back to this monastery." At dawn, Eric packed the 37 volumes into a sealed chest addressed to the Orc Council of the Skarnak. His hands did not tremble. A full turning of the seasons. Then a distant column of dust appeared on the valley road, 20 orc riders in formal procession. Eric stood in the courtyard. The cellarer clasped his shoulder and stepped back into the shadows. An orc elder, her tusks wrapped in silver, dismounted and approached Eric. She held the chest he had sent, now open. "Brother Eric," she said, her voice carrying across the silent yard. "The council has read every word. These are not copies. They are the original soul of the Skarnak." She knelt, a thing no orc had done for a human in living memory, and pressed a copper disc into his palm, engraved with a single rune, unbroken, by the right of the last memory keeper and the hands that saved her words. "We name you Keeper of the Skarnak Flame. First human ever to hold the title."
Eric closed his fingers around the disc, its edges biting like a vow. "I am still a scribe. I just write in a language that was nearly silenced."
Then, aloud, he added, "Brenois Skarnak's name is on every spine. She is the true keeper. I am only her student." But in the eyes of the orcs, he was both. The courtyard filled with a sound that had not been heard there in a century. Orcs and humans applauding together. From that day, the monastery was no longer an island. Orcs and humans came, walking the same path. They lit candles before the Skarnak library, as pilgrims do before a saint's relics. Eric, hair now threaded with gray, taught the dialects to any child who would listen.
"You see, the rune for memory is not just a symbol. It is a breath held for 1,000 years.
A young orc girl, tusks still small, traced a line in the Song of the First Tusks and read aloud. "Under the starless sky, the Skarnak walked alone, until they found the Valley of Soft Skins." Eric listened. The voice was not Brenois', but the words were, carried forward like a flame passed hand to hand.
She would have wept to see this, not with grief, but with the joy of a story that refused to die.
The scriptorium, once a cave of secrets, had become a hearth, and his ink-stained hands, at long last, rested on a completed library, the copper disc warm against his chest. It was deep night when Eric lifted the lantern, one candle still burning on his desk. He set the lantern beside Brenois' empty chair, its carved wood catching the glow like old bone. The chair had remained untouched for a decade, a throne of memory no one dared occupy. He pulled a volume from the shelf and opened it, letting his thumb rest on her embossed name.
"I did not save you. You saved me."
The candle guttered. The copper disc on his chest caught the last of the light, unbroken. Outside, the moon rose over the monastery, and the valley slept in peace. Inside, the scriptorium held its vigil. 37 spines, 2 names, 1 unbroken thread. A simple wooden plaque on the wall caught the lantern's glow. It read, "Eric and Brenois, keepers of memory." And that, at last, was enough.